Nord-Sud 98.9, Centre 97.3, Est-Ouest 91.7. RM1, la radio nationale.
RM1, 9 o'clock. The news presented by Eris Stewart. Good morning, Eris.
Good morning, Sophie.
The headlines.
Alleged breach of international maritime ruling as Maldives deploys military assets near Chagosian waters. Mauritian authorities express solidarity with Madagascar following Cyclone Gezani. Bet365 fraud case, a prison sentence overturned and community service offered for Hussein Abdul Rahim. Police consider overhaul of driving test system deemed outdated by instructors. SADC central bank governors meet in Mauritius to boost regional financial cooperation. In world news, Canada and UK financial institutions pause deals with DP World after Epstein-linked emails surface. And in sports news, badminton African team championship sees Mauritius settle for silver after narrow final defeat to Algeria. The Chagos issue is once again fueling regional tensions. On 5 February, Maldivian president reaffirmed his determination to defend his country's sovereignty during the opening of the 2026 parliamentary session. In his address, he openly opposed the retrocession of the Chagos archipelago to Mauritius and announced the withdrawal of a letter sent in 2022 supporting a shift in maritime boundary positions under the previous administration, a move he described as unjustified. He also stated his intention to reclaim maritime zones lost following a ruling by the International Tribunal for the Law of the Sea. Hours later, the Maldivian Ministry of Defense announced the deployment of Coast Guard vessels and military drones to monitor what is called the country's southern waters, raising questions about a possible attempt to assert control over parts of the Chagosian maritime zone. According to the Indian media outlet the CSR's journal, the Maldivian army may have taken control of certain Chagosian waters, a claim confirmed to us by Attorney General Gavin Glover, who says Maldivian forces breached a boundary established by the tribunal. Reacting to these developments, Olivier Boncourt of the Chagos Refugees Group believes Mauritius should bring the matter before international bodies. He reiterates that the Chagosians have no historical ties to the Maldives and that sovereignty over the archipelago rests with the Republic of Mauritius. The Mauritian government is closely monitoring the situation in Madagascar following the passage of Cyclone Gezani. Prime Minister Navin Ramgoolam and his deputy Paul Béranger, who is acting as Minister of Foreign Affairs, has expressed their sympathy and support to the Malagasy authorities and people. Port Louis says it stands ready to respond to any international call for solidarity from this sister nation. Mauritian authorities also confirmed that they are available to assist Mauritians currently in Madagascar in coordination with the embassy and local authorities. In the Bet365 case, Hussein Abdul Rahim will not serve a 12-month prison sentence. His custodial sentence was overturned yesterday following a favorable social report paving the way for community service. In January, he had been found guilty of defrauding Silvio Sandanam after promising him substantial winnings through the Bet365 UK online sports betting platform. The scandal had led to the resignation of former Attorney General Ravi Yerigadu. Hussein Abdul Rahim is represented by lawyer Assad Pirou. Passing a driving test does not necessarily make someone a good driver. Police are thus working on a reform of the driving examination system, which is considered outdated and poorly adapted to today's traffic conditions and infrastructure, a change long demanded by driving instructors. More details in this report.
Some young drivers take additional lessons after securing their driver's license to learn the basics of highway driving, how to navigate roundabouts, flyovers and interchanges, but this practice is not mandatory. Ishwaren, a licensed driver for 2 weeks now, believes that this aspect could be added. Technically, one is bound to encounter roundabouts and other types of elements or structures on the road. One has to know how to maneuver on a daily basis. The current driver's license testing mechanisms were set almost 40 years ago, a time when the vehicle fleet was significantly lower and infrastructure was less complex. For years, driving instructors have been urging reform. Currently, for example, a test in Port-Louis, the candidate leaves the land barracks, turns right, and at the next traffic signal, turns right again, and repeats a right turn at the other traffic signal. That's thrice. At the church, he or she turns left, same at the other end of the church, left before driving back into the line barracks. The whole route engages one way. There are several aspects that need to be included into the test: how to restart, how to judge or behave, the other safety aspects. He also believes the oral test should be modernized. It should have been an oral test with questions on real-life situations, for instance, where should a triangle sign be placed, 50 meters ahead, or which one is right before the object. The police are in the process of remodeling the whole driver's license system. A document detailing the overhaul is currently building on at the line barracks level. It is considered that the test doesn't fully condition new drivers to the road's real challenges. This issue was already raised when the points-based penalty license system started. They've also noticed that many people go to the line barracks to get a license, but not to learn how to drive. That's the mindset where one learns how to manage and drive, hires a driving school for 3 or 4 lessons, and gets a driving license.
He gets a license, but is he fit to be on the road or not?
After validation by the police, the document will be tabled in cabinet for green light before any shifts are implemented.
And in other news, strengthening regional financial markets, improving cross-border cooperation, and mobilizing sustainable sources of financing were among the key topics discussed at the Financial Markets Subcommittee meeting of the Committee of Central Bank Governors of the Southern African Development Community, held in Mauritius from 10 to 12 February. The meeting aimed to deliberate on strategies to promote financial and economic development across the region in support of sustainable growth. Take a listen to more on this.
Global tensions and economic uncertainty straining decision-making. At crossroads, the SADC region needs to focus on innovative commitments to protect its economies and preserve growth. This roadmap engages the central bank governors and senior officials from the 16 member countries.
We really need to be taking into action, I think, issues of only forming our own facilities where everyone else can access funding. So it's very key for us to leverage on the available gold within our economies so that we build reserves and move forward as a bloc.
Consultations also assessed the financial sector's drive to environmental safeguard and combating climate shifts, while emphasizing the need to step up financial system integration and cooperation connecting SADC countries. It's an honor for Mauritius to host this meeting that shows our commitment in the regional integration, rallying Africa, especially here involving a SADC committee. Issues debated point out how to boost collaboration, upgrade our financial capital markets efficiency for Mauritius and the region. The setting up of a regional emergency fund for central banks was raised. This fund could be activated in crisis response to bail out countries challenged by unforeseen financial difficulties.
You're listening to RM1. It's 9:09 where we move to international news. Financial groups in Canada and the United Kingdom have said they have paused future ventures with DP World after newly released emails revealed a long-standing relationship between the company's CEO and Jeffrey Epstein. The emails, some containing references to pornographic content, sexual messages and escorts, surfaced among Epstein-related documents recently released by the US Department of Justice. DP World operates the Jebel Ali port in Dubai and runs terminals in ports worldwide. In response, British International Investment and one of Canada's largest pension funds, La Caisse, announced they would suspend any new investments with DP World until the company takes the necessary actions. And finally in sports, we finish with badminton and the African Team Championships currently being held in Botswana. The Mauritian men's team narrowly missed out on the continental title. In the final, Mauritius lost to Algeria by a close score of 3-2. Algeria thus claimed a 5th consecutive African title, confirming its dominance on the continent. A frustrating defeat, but a silver medal that highlights the steady progress of the Mauritian squad. That's all from me this morning.